Hello there, this is Darth Ravage 07 coming to you today with another quick review. Fresh off the FedEx truck from Hasbro Pulse, I got in the Star Optimus Prime Titan class figure, just sitting there on the big old box on the porch as I pulled in the driveway. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thanks again for watching. Let's turn this camera around and take a look at Star Optimus Prime. And there is Star Optimus Prime on the turntable, looking pretty freaking amazing. There's a side of the box with that look there. You got all the stuff and things he can do there. Some more of that mural box art. And real quick, I wanted to do a comparison to show you this is in a much smaller Titans class box compared to years past Titans boxes that just eat up the whole table and the screen and whatever. So it's a little bit smaller, but Dynamite comes in small packages. Let's open this box. Pause and scan here if you're looking in store, but Titans hadn't been showing up in stores lately. And real quick, we're going to go through there and do the contents and the thing. So you got the instructions that's in there, and then whenever you do that, remove the scissors, that flops open, and this is how he's packed inside the package. And early out-of-box assessment of all the parts are there and stuff. I've got some assembly required, plus Dr. Dre I'm going to have to operate. He's got that little chest issue. So we'll throw that up in another video later. Be back in a moment. And we're back, guys, and I'm starting off with my least favorite of the modes, the base mode. And of Titan class base modes, you do want a couple of things and how you can do it. You can take and rotate the leg, you sit them down in a sitting position and rotate legs to the right, and or you take and rotate the torso to the left 90 degrees. You get it in that configuration. You got these other little flaps and stuff, and I brought out the Rodimus figure and got him on top of his little turret and stuff, and then you parts form the treads off of the base of the feet back into the other side, and you port it in on this side, and we'll do a quick little spin to show off Optimus basically sitting down and shooting stuff right and left. I'd like to think that there was a better way or configuration to do that stuff, but this is what you get when you do get all that done. Of Titan class figures, also of note is it's very light feeling, and it's just all these hollow bits just for the base mode. And while this Micropolis, base mode is trying to be faithful to the G1 stuff, they definitely have sub-reverse engineered the parts down into something that is very underwhelming in the base mode, and it could have been better. This hot rod, we'll take a closer look at. It's very, very basic and minuscule, and it'd have been actually neat if it actually combined into like the trailer hot rod, since he's basically doing that little tidbit there. But Star Convoy, the Zodiac energy core, and all that good stuff. But you can also see, like right here, even in the base mode, that the chest is flush and not all broken apart. I don't know why they can't do that any better. And I like the head looking down like that. So I mean, it looks like everything's exploding in my opinion. But I mean, he's got his little flame sword going on there. He's got his big pew pew there with the blast effect there, defending Micropolis base or whatever. You can let your imagination run wild there. Blast effects will fall off pretty easy. He's got wheels there, and this ain't Hasbro's configuration. This is the way I decided to do it based off of Hasbro's configuration. And you got your ramps. You got the little Titan returns pieces and parts that you can build out your base however you see fit. You can actually even split that on off of there and gap it up however you need to back the other way and stuff and things. What I don't like here is just like the overabundance of hollow space in these pieces here and just about everywhere that you go there. But I mean, it does got a neat little transformation to get into this, and it is parts forming. So if that is not your cup of tea, then this base mode will definitely not be your thing. I've spent about 2 minutes too long talking about this base mode. Let's get him over to his truck mode. And we'll take a quick look at this Hot Rodimus figure here. And he just basically clips into the back of this blue bits gun piece here. And it looks very reminiscent of his old platform from G1. But he is really grossly underwhelming. To be a pack-in with a Titan class figure, this guy could have had all kinds of other stuff, and is the whole reason why I didn't really care for anything Hasbro Scout class or Basics or Legends or wherever this small stuff is. This is just more of the same crap with a few more paint apps that are pretty nice here. I guarantee that head does not rotate at all, and it doesn't. I mean, that's horse shit right there. and then you go all the way around its shoulder, barely getting any articulation there. You might get 90 there on a ball and joint. You can get on out to the side. Waffled out the bits there, just like they do always. And I'm going to be harsh on this, guys, because like I said, for $150, you should be able to get your own like awesome figure at this size and whatnot. Awful waffles in the back of this, just underwhelming all the way around. And you have to basically flip those little bits out. And I don't usually do transformations on camera, but this is so stupid, it's insulting. And yeah, I mean, so I think this is highly unacceptable for a $150 figure. At least it does have the pin wheels going for it in car mode. Nice paint job going for it, but they just managed to shove the waffles down our fucking throats. And I'm over this, guys. I mean, this is fugly, and yeah. So yeah, I let the little cuss words fly, because that whole set, this is probably going to end up just right back up in there the whole time for the rest of the time, and that's where he'll be at. And they missed out on a huge opportunity here. Instead of having this parts formery nonsense with this thing right here, they could have did the little thing where he actually fit up in there just like his old G1 self, and you know, could have been the Winnebago again. But this is definitely faithful to the old stuff as whatnot. You got that stuff that you can just take off of there. This guy right here goes back over here. It's just frustrating. And oh, you got a little piece that you got to flip in back there, up underneath there, and then you can like just put it together. So thank you for sticking with me this long. Half a wheel, no real wheel. These are pinned at least, and it will roll. And Hot Rod can actually fit up in this little beast, and that's probably where he'll stay at for the rest of the time. And I'm gonna say you can stow this up here on the top. You can fold this over. I don't know. You may not be able to. Who cares? I mean, anyway, stuff and things you can do if you desire. Little truck of doom with Hot Rod in it, and it's just going to go back in one of his legs when we get it converted, and you probably will not see this bits and parts again. You probably see this gun again because it's, anyway, yeah, frustrations. And here's the art imitating life pose for the truck mode, if you could call it posing. It reminds me a whole heck of a lot of Armada Optimus Prime with those tank treads in the back. I think I actually heard our fellow friend TF Fan Geek from the Ultra Megatronus Live group talk about how Armada Prime was based off of this guy here. Really, really, really big and crazy, long and awesome. Basically the robot mode, folded up his arms, tucked in his head, and everything else sprawled out into the trailer there. The ugliest part of this whole mode is the fact that this back end is so awfully waffly. I mean, that is so fugly. I mean, you can lower the stuff if you need to do so. The feet just kind of tuck away up there. Love that Autobot tempo there. It rolls really good like a chimp. I mean, it's got wheels all over the place there to make sure that it can do the rolling thing. And Convoy, this whole front end kind of reminds me of Optimus and Rodimus combined, melded together, got vocked together. Then this is what you get. And it's still very impressive, albeit not perfect, but I mean, I didn't own one until today, and now this is my first Star Convoy figure. Let's get him back over into robot mode, because that's about all you can do here. You can do some poses with those blasters and pew-pews. He does have storage in those legs, obviously. Let's convert him back into robot mode. Then we're going to get into some final thoughts. And for, you know, prosperity's sake, there's some scale with the Robot Toys Optimus Primal. I've had so much fun with this, and I gotta get him on the turntable next. As I was specifying, you have plenty of storage in the legs junky trunk. And here's Star Convoy in his robot mode. I meant Star Optimus. He's right here in his robot mode, looking pretty tall, but he's not as big as other Titans. I'll go get a couple of those here in a moment and show you the verses. Back end cleans up well, even though these just kind of slam onto the bottom of it right there. Things tab in pretty good for the most part. If you get careful with the transformation, you will pop these side panels off way much like I did. And I feel that that should be pinned in versus the way it is. And we can get into that articulation, guys. Bear with me a minute. This head, starting off up here, cannot whatsoever look up at all. You can go left and right with it. You have to actually put these guys on here and they fold up into that. And then pretty much into place. He's got some light piping right up here on the top of the head. There's no upward look, but then you got the downward look to kind of shame, you know, but I'm hoping that a third party will come along and give us the upward articulation this should have, because he's a big dude and he flies, and he's super Optimus Prime pretty much, guys, thanks to the Zodiac in his chest. And then you got this, and you open this up and you got the Zodiac in its place. Everything's in its place. So there you go. That's, if I have any understanding of the lore, that helps revive him into this or whatever. Anyway, goes right there into that Zodiac chamber. Every bit. Can't figure out quite where this piece needs to go, but I'll just keep it in the chest area there until I can figure it out or watch somebody else's review. Haven't watched anybody else's review or refused to do that. And now I've lost that little piece to this hip area, and it goes off in there. So we're going to throw it back in there, close this back up, because we're just trying to, oh, we got to put the panels back in there, close up the chamber, and then get this to, there it goes, back into place. Mine had that little deal there where the chest needed to be fixed. There's 3 screws on the back side of that, and you got to push where the corners are, push it back firm, and then you get that nice looking chest area. You can get only that far up with those arms. If you pop that off, I want to say you can go higher, and you can pop this off and use it as PPUs if you so desire. So that's as high as you get there. We'll just go ahead and pop those off and get that up there, because you get all the way around the waist of the transformation and ratchet. I'm glad they did at least put some ratchets into this guy's, you know, form or whatnot. He can bend over, or else his knees is clicking backwards, because it does got some of that going on. No ab crunch whatsoever. I feel that once you get over the $100 mark, you should be able to add in those other nice little features that other companies do. So there's that ratchet. I love that ratchet. You get a swivel there above the elbow, and a little bit, this is for transformation, but I mean, I like to have these guts filled in. This can come up this high, go up this far. So there's what you can do there. These hands are on a hinge, and it should be individually articulating figures. You can't get a good fist out of it. Take it what you will there. Like I was saying, you can take these and fold them out and stick them in there. And dual wield some pew-pews there. In his hands. Ratchets always sound super good. And he's got 2 pew-pews, one for the both of you, just in case you're seeing double. I wish that light piping would work better in this light. Get back into the rest of this. You can do up the skirts. You can get this high up, just like so there. And go back, way back, and kick himself in the back of the head almost with that whole trailer butt end area there. You get upper thigh swivel there. Only about that much in the knee due to all the other excess kibble. This will pop off, but I don't want to do that. Nice ratchets in those legs. This is the hollowest bits ever. I mean, and you got that storage there. I mean, if you don't pop this up and out, you will pop, shear that off of there. Like I have so many, this should have been a pin in here, but I mean, that's what they've done there. And this holds that Rodimus, and I don't ever care to pull that back out again and use that with this at all. I mean, it's there. I know if it's there, I can go in his right leg and grab it. And then the left leg, like I was showing you earlier, has all the storage with the blast effects and stuff. Oh, and you do get some neat ankle tiltage going on there, so you can get that nicer A-frame pose. And these toes do dip down, but it's all that ugly stuff on the bottom there. So that's about all that you can do there. And you got him, oh, the flaps, the other size flaps can like flap around there. But really, really tight, good ratchets on this guy. It's not going to be for everybody. I never owned a Star Convoy till this guy come along, and I'm happy with the purchase all the same. And we'll get him into one more pose and get him in some final thoughts. Thanks again for watching, guys, and staying with me this long. Forgive me, guys, I meant to show you this. You have a smaller gun that you can do some two-piece to, or you got another piece that looks very Matrix-like, and you can do blast effects there. You take it off and you can see like it's more like a Matrix kind of thing going on there. He doesn't have a Matrix, he has a Zodiac, but then or you can take and just point it like this and put it in there. And now he's got another rifle with, you know, having performance issues, but there you go, guys. Now we'll get into some final thoughts. Getting into some final thoughts on my very first Star Optimus Prime Star Convoy. This guy is pretty massive and awesome, even though he's got shortcomings, especially in that base mode. These legs being super duper hollow, but I can appreciate the storage space that you get there. And I feel like you could have added some motorized functions and stuff, but I mean, they went with articulation. Articulation is top notch in it, and it could have a little bit more, to be all honest and stuff. I feel like it could have some light up features in those eyes. It's really dark there, but for the price, I mean, that that hot rod in that right leg, I don't even want to show it because I was so disappointed with it. I feel for the price we could have gotten something that articulates better, albeit, you know, this was $40 by itself, but I mean, it's every bit worth it. I mean, so even with its one flaw there, I've got in the Hall of Chosen, probably gotten that one going on, but therein, I feel that they could have did more engineering to that hot rod and stuff and things, and the hot rod will sit in the chest and do the stuff and things, but I just don't feel like it's worth the plastic used, and it is just more empty space on top of empty space when it comes to the insides of those legs. I mean, and there should be no hollow bits, but what you do have here is an excellent robot, a pretty awesome truck, albeit it lays down, twists around, and, you know, it's a Titan figure, a small Titan figure at that, and that reminded me. Hang on one second, guys. Here's a look at some more scale here in my final thoughts, guys, and where I have a huge problem with this. Immediately when you pick this thing up out of box, it's nowhere near as heavy as this guy feels like. I feel like this guy's got more mass. This guy's definitely got more mass at a commander class. This guy being the Titan last year, I mean, he's got more mass, heavy. He is light as a feather, and I can see that being a point of contention with a lot of us collectors out there. He's so light, but the ratchets are heavy. But it's like you got heavy ratchets and these light pieces and parts, and it's like it. Anyway, I'm not trying to, you know, be so bitter about it, but I mean, there's something to be said for $150. That hot rod inside of that leg should have been better, and henceforth we brought that guy out of the woodwork and stuff. You get these extra blast effects and that stuff right there. Then there's a little tiny piece. I don't even know what to do with that except for just stick it back in the chest. And where I had those stored in there, just be careful when you go to articulate. You will drop pieces out with the A poses and stuff. That's what I did with this little pose right here, just to want to show that off. And he looks really, really cool. And he's going to go well in the collection, but he's just so freaking light. I mean, I'll let you guys that do the weights and stuff, you know, fuss that up and down one wall and the other, but you might want to wait for a discount or a sale before getting this guy. I think 150 is a bit much for asking for that, but I do love this figure all the same, even with that shortcoming. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thanks again for watching, and that's going to wrap up Star Convoy. Actually, Transformers Age of the Primes, Star Optimus Prime. Y'all have an excellent weekend out there. Please stay safe. I hope you get yours and you like it as much as I do like mine. Until all are one, guys.